I don't normally talk about trans issues. It's not my topic. It's not something I know a hell of a lot about. As I have to explain to people all the time, I'm one of the most binary people you'll ever run into. I remember when I was a I don't know, a young man, and somebody on MTV said that by the year 2025, then everybody will be bi. I'm like, well, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I'm and it turns out that I'm kind of an oddity in that I am so binary,
Mm.
which is I if I wasn't, I would have more options on a Saturday night. I'm completely open to that, but I try to enjoy some of the finer things. I've tried every type of whiskey. I'm just not a whiskey guy. I tried to like sushi, just can't do it. So yeah,
Understandable.
I know what I like. But anyway, I made a video recently based on a series of arguments that I was seeing online that just irritated the crap out of me, wherein I talk about things about trans rights. And one of the things that I always see come up are declarations of or insistence that trans people produce objectively verifiable biological justification for their position. And I thought, well, I've seen a number, and I've heard a number of arguments, and I've read a number of things. I'm probably know more about this than most binary people do. But it had occurred to me that while it seems that trans people could produce objective verification of this kind of this type of category if they need to, do they need to? Because my take on this was that freedom of speech, freedom of expression, right to pursuit of happiness, all that kind of shit. Why the fuck are we upset about it? And there was somebody on Facebook somewhere who reacted violently to that, and I let them know that I was going to be on the show tonight. So you want to, they kept challenging me. You debate. Let's discuss this live. I'll trash you. Really? Okay.
Do it then.
So yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm going to be on this show. Call in show. I don't have a call in show, but you can do this one and call in. Oh no, because you're going to have control of the mute button. Here's the thing, and they demanded equal time, and they demanded another format. I said, no, you can call in tonight. No, I'm not going to call in because you've got control of the mute button, coward. It's not even my show. I invited you. You said you would trash me if it was live. I'm going to be live. Come on and trash me, right? But no. It's only if we have equal time and he has control of the mute button. If you're worried about the mute button, it's because you already know you don't have a valid argument. If I need to explain something to you to get a point across, give me a couple of minutes to do that. Then we can discuss it. I don't need to do a formal debate. Just give me a moment to explain my position. There you go. I've got a couple of minutes. If it's complicated, it might take 5 or 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. Right? Let me explain it, do the justifications for the argument, and then we can discuss it. I think that the way that debates are handled when they're on stage, two people on stage doing a performance, it is a performance.
Yeah.
And that's what I think takes a lot of it out. Because how do you end up with two people talking past each other to an audience? They're not talking to each other. They are making no attempt at all to reason with each other. Mm-hmm. And so for me, these performance debates, these live debates, don't actually become real until you get the audience participation. When you get into the Q&A, that's when you understand what the people really have, because now it's not in prepared presentations. Now you actually have to engage. So if I have a valid argument, I only need a couple of minutes. Or, I can block out how many minutes exactly I will need to make my argument, to make my case. If I know that I don't have a valid argument, if all I want to do is spit venom against the people I hate, then I will refuse to come on when they've got control of the mute button. Then I will demand equal time. Only when I know that I'm a piece of shit that just wants to hate on people.
People truly are just like trying to get a megaphone on here sometimes. And they do Arden will leave on, she can mute them in one program, but not the other, so that she can mute them for the stream, but she can still see their levels going. And some of them will just continue talking over us. And it's like, okay, well, you clearly weren't here to learn, because I view it, at least on Takis, as like, we are subject matter experts. And I get that that's kind of what Skeptalk is. Part of why I didn't really expect to be on Skeptalk is because I envision it in my head as like, that's where the biologists are. I am not a biologist, so I'm probably not going to be there. But I do expect people to come to the Transatlantic show with like some amount of humility that I am here to explain something that I know more about than they do. And it's like the hubris with which people approach me is crazy.
We have a call, and I really want to get to this call, but you brought up an important point.
Mm.
And that is that you have to have some level of expertise. So having you on and inviting somebody to call in if they want to argue this, they look at it as, oh, you got somebody to tag team with you. Well, the important thing is, I mean, I am a science advocate. I believe in peer review. The thing that matters is not that you get equal time to lie all you want to so that the other person then only has so long to try to correct all your lies and then give the correct information on top of after correcting the lies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's unnecessary burden. What matters is that we have fact checkers in place for everybody in real time. Right. So this is why I prefer written debates, because then everybody can like, nope, what they said here is this is factually false. Here's the actual data, whatever, because that's what matters. Right. The truth matters more than anything. So if I get something wrong, fucking correct me. Right. That's what I want. But the person who wants to argue with me does not want a fact checker because they know they're full of shit already. They don't need somebody to tell them that. And so that just ruins their whole ability to argue.
Yeah, that's how you know you're honest when you don't want a fact checker.